So you think you're going to be high speed, low drag, and come up with a plan to escape New York or Atlanta, Miami, LA, or Seattle. Let's break some of this down and some of the issues and challenges. Thinking about everything beforehand as well as after. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below. Let's do this. Let's talk about the beforehand. We all love to start at that triggering event or that triggering moment. But there is not very many events that could cause, without hesitation, the need to run away. So as you're thinking about the types of moments that may force you to drive away from an urban center, did they have any sort of warning signs? Was there anything that gave signs or symptoms of a societal collapse or disaster that would warrant getting out of Dodge? I think maybe the answer is probably no. So as we think about this, again, let's roll back the clock. Hours, days, weeks, or months, potentially even years in advance. If we believe that the need may arise, then why are we living the same life in the same place and doing the same things, working the same grind, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting something different? They tell me is the definition of insanity. So it's sort of, let's say you feel stuck. What sort of signs may come up that our world around us is going to experience a catastrophic change? Maybe it would be civil unrest in the next city that may bleed over into ours. We can see this coming, especially if you live in a deep urban center. Maybe it's the beginnings of civil unrest in your own city, and you're just hanging on, waiting, for this moment to leave. I would submit to you that maybe it would be better to take a vacation, to get on the road, especially if now we're in the days and weeks leading up to something, as opposed to trying to pack up all your crap and get out. Because almost every urban center in the United States has a population density of over 10,000 people per square mile. Over 10,000. Now you may be used to the traffic in your area and think that it's the worst traffic. No other city has traffic like yours, but even in the worst traffic jams of your area, you don't deal with everybody being on the road. Now suppose this triggering event came and you now find yourself having to move, having to get out. There's no warning sign. It's not like the hurricane that's coming and that you can track it, right? In your mind, that's what you're thinking. So here you are, and you're now on the road. Well, now you are literally fighting against every other person trying to do the exact same thing. And here we are again, doing the exact same thing and expecting a different outcome, a different result. We are expecting ourselves to be able to get out. We're expecting ourselves to be able to not have any friction. Insanity. Just on a regular day, the interstates and the highways leading in and out of urban centers are an absolute mess. What should take an hour can easily, on a normal and ordinary day, take 2.5 hours. But again, once you put all of those tens of thousands of people per square mile on the road, what should take in half an hour could take days. So what's your plan now? Well, you planned to fail is what you did. You planned to fail. Now let's talk about, where are you going? Where are you trying to get to? And again, I would submit to you that if you have a place to go, maybe it's family or friends who live somewhere, that maybe you should have gone to visit them in the days or weeks leading up to these events. That, by the way, may be possible, but are not probable. So you're going somewhere, you have a place, you have a destination, and you think that your roads, your back roads, are going to be the way to move and to get about. Well, I can tell you that, once you get off of the main roads and you try to scurry around this way or that way, that you're not going to get away from the people. Especially if you live, in places like the Northeast or in California, where everybody is migrating and moving and going through this exodus in the same direction. And all you're doing is finding more and more and more people who are doing the exact same thing. And so while you were initially dealing with 10 to 30,000 people per square mile trying to leave, all of this is bottlenecking and becoming more, it's a bell curve. Because everybody's being scooped in to the same pile of excrement. But here you are. You think that your experience is going to be different. The only way that it could have or should have been different is if you made some life changes in the months and years leading up to this event. But we get stuck thinking that we need the big house and the big yard and the white picket fence, that we deserve something better or different. Friends, deserve's got nothing to do with it. And once you start getting off into the hills and the country areas, what sorts of folks are you going to encounter? Like in the city, you may have mostly peaceful protesters. But once you get out into a rural area, you're probably not going to be any more welcome in these areas than you were from the town that you left, because you have no connection to these areas. And as far as anybody else is concerned, it looks like you're probably just another raider coming to steal a resource, ask for some food, some water, help to fix a flat tire. And because of this cataclysmic event that you've dreamed up that you're reacting to, if it happened, well, everybody else knows that it happened too. So what sort of level of trust does everybody have with you? You're just asking for 5 gallons of fuel, right, so that you can get out of town. I don't think it's going to quite work out that way. So maybe you think you'll scoot in through some areas and get into some other areas, and all of a sudden you find yourself dealing with a different type of choke point, right? We have our own linear danger areas to deal with in a city. But what happens when you have to go over a major bridge? What happens when you have to go through a tunnel? Think about the risks that tunnels will pose for you if you get stuck, or should violence break out in that tunnel, and you literally have nowhere that you can go. You can't drive forward, you can't drive backwards. If you stay in your car, you're a sitting duck, you're a target. If you try to get out of your vehicle, you're the exact same thing. Like, no matter what choice you make at this point in time, it's the wrong choice. No matter what choice you make at this juncture, it is the wrong choice to make. So again, team, I would submit to you, as you're looking forward to the next 6 to 9 months, what kind of decisions do you need to make for yourself, for those who are in your charge right now, in order to do the best things? What sort of life might you have to leave and get behind right now to go start something new? Can feel like the hardest decisions to make. But we have to I would submit to you that if we refuse to make hard decisions and to sacrifice the things that we think that we deserve, we're fooling ourselves, man. That's exactly what we have to do. Start living a life that is more than ourselves. Start living a life that is not centered on ourselves. Stop perpetuating this trophy entitlement mindset that we deserve ours. Team, let me know down in the comments below what you think about the idea of escaping after a cataclysmic event has been triggered. And if you are in an urban center and you've figured this out, you know how to get it done, you know how to get after it, leave those comments as well, because there's people in other areas who need to expand their way of thinking. Team, I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Your craft, develop your tactical virtue. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!